Oh, goodness. Yankeetown is a cool little place. It's right at the mouth of the Withlacoochee River up in the northwest Florida and also borders the Gulf of Mexico. And what that means is there's a lot of water, a lot of shallow water to fish, and there's some great inshore species to be targeted in these areas. Yankeetown is definitely a small town. It's one of those places where everybody knows everybody's name. We're staying at the Riverside Inn, and right when we get there, we walk into the place and you're greeted like you're a neighbor, like you've been there forever, and it's such a good feeling. This isn't our first visit to Yankeetown for real time. We did a trip here a couple years ago, fishing the offshore waters, fishing for grouper, and I tell you, that was an insane fishery. But I tell you, seeing all of those marshes on the way out to those grouper grounds, it really made me want to come back and really try this inshore fishery that this area is also known for. We're gonna be fishing with Bill Ness. He's been fishing here a long time. The guy fishes 5 days a week, so he knows the water. He has his fingers on the pulse of what's going on, and I know he's gonna be able to put us on the fish. All right, Yankeetown, Florida. This is old Florida. Bill Ness, you're on this water 5 days a week, you're saying. What do you got in store for us today?
Well, with the, we're on a full moon. It's cold front, first big cold front of the year, full moon, early morning. We're gonna wait till the water comes in. We'll probably catch some trout, flounder, drum. As the tide comes up, we'll try to go catch some redfish and see what the day brings us.
So we got some real low negative tides here. This is very tidal dependent area. You said you had tidal swings of 5-6 feet in a day?
Yeah, it'd be easily 5-6 feet swing today from where it's at right now.
Wow.
And when we come back in, everything that's all mud right now will all be underwater. You can even see on that big cypress tree right there. See how high that water line goes up?
It's incredible. This is such a beautiful area. I mean, these old cypress trees, these marshes, this is a gorgeous area to come and visit, and the fishing is great. We've done a trip here before. We did a grouper trip offshore, trolling plugs, and that was very successful, and I'm anxious to get out here and try this inshore stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I love fishing here. I've been fishing here for a very long time and spend a lot of time out here doing this. And the best part about fishing here is we probably won't see another boat today. I mean, we might see a couple, but not many. I mean, this is going to be all us today. It's a pretty special place, man.
I tell you what, Bill, I'm really excited to get out here and see what today has in store for us.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know that if we put our work in today and put our time in, we're going to end up having a great day today and should catch a lot of fish, have a lot of fun. So
all right, let's do it.
Let's go do it, man.
Weather's changing. We had our first cold front come through, so the temperatures are cooler. We're just gonna get out there and really just try to do a bunch of different things. We're gonna target trout, redfish, maybe some sheep's head, maybe some flounder. We're just gonna play it by ear, do a bunch of different things, and see what this area has to hold for us. So these tides are so low, we started on the outside is what you're saying, and then once the water fills in, we're gonna move on in?
Yeah, I mean, right now, a lot of the spots that we plan on fishing later doesn't have any water on them at all. So we just come to some of these spoil islands that are out here where it's steeper at 6-7 feet, and we're just waiting on the water to fill in and hopefully catch a couple, decent fish in the meantime. So there you go. There you go. Oh,
didn't take long.
That's a good fish, huh?
Yeah, I can tell it's dragging in the current,
Yeah. Oh no, that's a big trout, I think. Big trout. You see him?
Is it?
Oh, that's a big old trout. Oh yeah.
That's how I roll, Bill. I just come into these towns and just catch big fish. That's what I do. Oh
nice
yeah,
trout,
that is a good trout.
Yeah, that's a good one. Hopefully he's got about 100 of his buddies sitting with him.
It landed right on the water, dude. As soon as it hit, it was down.
Yep.
They tend to congregate together in these colder days. Look at that, that's a good size right there. I tell you what, they want to feed us some dinner tonight. Cook your catch. Is this some good eating, right?
Yes, sir. Very good to eat. That's a nice fish, George.
Look at the yellow mouth on that thing. Well, I think we're going to keep him. Yeah, so what's the limit, 15 to 20 like the?
Yeah, 15 to 20 with 1 over 20 inches. You're allowed 5 per person in the Gulf of Mexico.
Look at that. We're going to get the live well release on this one. Spotted sea trout, one of the most targeted fish in this area, 5 per person, 15 to 20 inches on this coast. Highly sought after for its food quality. We were hoping to catch a handful of these to take them back to the Riverside Inn to have them cooked for us.
That's
Got one?
Yeah, that's a good trout right there, dude. Or a black drum or something. That's a nice fish. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's fighting a little bit better.
Yeah. That's a trout. That's a big one right there. I think it's a redfish, a nice redfish.
If it's a red, it's a good one.
That's a nice redfish there.
No, black drum.
Is it?
Yeah, looks like a big black drum.
Nice. That's a nice one, George.
So everything's in here eating that shrimp.
Especially when it gets cold out.
Wow.
It's a nice fish. There we go.
Look at that. What a
That's
cool
a good
fish.
Yeah.
Bill's saying the smaller ones are good eating. The bigger ones get filled with worms. He gets schools of hundreds of 40, 50, 60 pounders, but these smaller ones get up on this structure like this. Let's let him go though.
Yeah, we'll let him go.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Penn. Let the battle begin.
Talking to Bill, he said there's going to be a 6-foot tidal swing today. Now that is huge. I'm used to a 1-2 foot tidal swing. 6 feet is massive. And what that means is your fishing it really centers around the tides. There's only certain places that you can fish at certain tides. So we know first thing in the morning, there's not a lot of water. We're going to be limited to where we can go. But in the afternoon, that tide's going to fill into a lot of these back bays. And then it's going to have, open up more potential, more areas for us to fish. So what do we got going on this? Well, we got a fish going on is what we got going on
Nice
here.
trout there, George. That's
So just a little different area. We moved out, a little deeper water. We're sitting in like 8 feet of water here.
Yep.
And just floating these shrimp back to this trough and found a little trout hole.
Yeah, usually when it gets cold out, oh, that's a good head shake there, bud. That's a nice fish. As it gets colder out, these fish will start to get in these deeper areas and they'll start to stage up here for the winter. They like this dark, deep bottom. That's a nice one there. That's
another
a 19,
good one for the frying
19
pan
incher right there, 20 incher.
That's a good fish, brother.
That's a nice sea trout right there. I mean, when you got that's a chunk right there. That's how we do it in Yankeetown.
That's a good one.
It's a beautiful fish right there. Right now, this time of year, as it gets cold, when the water, right now I think the water was 63 when it come out. It's like 66, 67. I mean, we catch these things straight through March, and they'll usually school up in these colder, in these colder times, and we're just catching them on shrimp. I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah, something anybody can do. Come out here with a shrimp on a popping cork and just drift it through there. And we're right outside the channel, right outside of Yankeetown. There's no secrets here.
Yep, that's a nice one. That's a 3.5 pounder right there.
So now the tide has changed. It's filling in. There's enough water to get the Triton into this flat. We get it in there and we're gonna switch gears. We're gonna tie in some hard baits and try to get some big trout in this area. So we mixed it up, moved in here on the shallow bar. Just kind of a little bowl in here that holds them, waiting for the tide to move in.
Yeah, usually what happened in this spot is as the tide's coming in, they'll end up, coming in this way, George, and then they hit this bar. So they've got to go here through the cut or they've got to go up there through the cut. So as they're coming onto this flat, we're just sitting here waiting for them to come on the flat and we're catching them as they, as they come in here, so.
Moving water and structure.
Yep. Oh, man, I didn't even twitch that thing. I mean, as soon as that hit the water, you saw that? I mean, I didn't even twitch it.
They like these plugs, huh?
Oh yeah.
It's funny, you come out here and think you're gonna get them on one thing and
we get them in shallow like this, they start eating these plugs pretty good. That's a chunky little fish there. Another nice little fat one.
it's great to be with a guy that knows exactly where the fish are gonna be, when they're gonna be there. I mean, he said, this is the time they're gonna be there, this is where they're gonna be, and I tell you, it's exactly what he said came true.
What we're gonna do, George, is we're gonna come up to this grass piece right here in front of this outer island, and there's a big oyster bar that comes off to the left of it. So we're gonna kind of power pull down and use the wind to throw our baits up near the grass.
All right.
And we'll fish, and if we don't catch anything, then we'll drift up into it and try to fish the backside of it. And we're just gonna get our big shrimp up here, and hopefully we can get a couple big reds. There we go. There's a red. Get out of the mangrove, stay out.
Stop
Get out of there. Come on, get out of there.
Got him right on the edge of those mangroves?
That might be a black drum. Nope, nice red, George. That's an eating one right there. He ain't huge, but
Pretty, God,
He's
look at him coming through those
mid-slot.
that grass.
pretty cool in the clear water too, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that water's clearing up.
His tail is all lit up. You see how blue it is? There we go.
God, what a good one, huh? Right there on the edge of those mangroves.
You know, even with this cold water, a fish that's only 21, 22 inches. I mean, he pulled hard because the water's cold. So, you know, they got a lot of life in them.
Look at that. Well, you know what? We normally don't keep fish. We normally let them go, but the end's gonna cook us up some. We're just gonna keep one of these guys. This is a perfect slot size to keep.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Eagle Claw Trocar, the sharpest fish hooks in the world.
Pretty basic setup here, just a 3500 slammer, 10-pound braid. Really the big thing around here is, I guess, adjusting this leader length for the depth of water.
To the depth of water, George. And the reason why we have to use these corks so much around here is we got so much rock. If I throw a bait up there on the bottom, I'm not reeling it back. I'm getting snagged.
Getting hung up.
This lets us set right above the rocks. So that's why the setup works so good here.
A redfish, along with the trout, are one of the most targeted species in this area. Again, great food quality, awesome fight, and you can find them in a variety of different locations.
George is on.
I got one.
George has got a nice red.
You think it's a red?
It's a red for sure. When it comes up and does that little boil, it's definitely a redfish.
A little red. All right.
A little redfish.
Not a monster, but it's still red. Right there on that point.
Yep.
Usually find a bunch of these together when they get this size? Or?
Yeah, usually when they're that size, George, they are, you know, there's a whole bunch of them together when they're that size, when they're 15, 16 inches like that.
So is there a better time of the year to be here than another? Or?
I mean, for me, my favorite time of the year is always tarpon season. And, you know, I mean, I just love the tarpon.
When is that? What months are those?
Our best months for tarpon, when we have the migration going on here, is anywhere from probably the early May through right about when scallop season starts in July. So that's really my favorite time to be here. But I mean, really year round, we have a great fishery, you know.
Just things switch up, you know, and you have access here too to the scalloping grounds, which is really popular in the summertime. It's a great thing to do with the kids, to come out here as a destination. You can run down off the Crystal River area right out of here and do those scallop grounds, and that is a ball. That is so much fun.
Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun, and it's not far from here, you know. I mean, do the scalloping in the summer, you know.
And you get a great snook fishery as well, you're saying, when it's warmer.
Yeah, I mean, and people don't think that you're gonna catch snook this far north. You know, in the Gulf, this really is about as far north, George, as you're gonna go and catch them, is right about where we're at. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it has to do with. It's gotta be those
springs, the natural springs that holds that mild temperatures for the water. Really, I think what Bill's saying is it ain't a bad time you could come to Yankeetown.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something going on here. You just gotta, you know, get some accommodations and find a guide that'll, you know, who's plugged into the fishery, George, and who's out here every day, really. That's the key. Is definitely something I recommend.
What a great day. We had some fish for the fry back at the inn. We had a full day of fishing in. We decided, you know what, let's head back and let's get some dinner. How good is it that you just caught these fish? A couple hours later, you're sitting there and they bring you out a plate full of fried fish that you just caught yourself. So we're sitting at dinner, and the owner of the inn, Kai Lewis, old timer, been here for a long time, been fishing his whole entire life, got more trophies and accolades and awards under his belt than I could ever dream of, starts talking to us about fishing, and that's how this town is, such nice, friendly people. He offers to take us out on an airboat ride the next morning and show us some unique things for this area. I was so quick to jump on that opportunity, and I could hardly sleep the night before waiting to get out there. All right, we switched up a little bit today. Left the Triton at home. We are going super shallow. Kai Lewis actually owns the inn. We had dinner last night, was telling us about this. Took us out on the airboat. This negative low tides with this big moon causes these little, you know, potholes back here that these actually redfish get stuck in, you were saying, right, Kai?
Right.
And you just come back here, and this is the only way to get back here. I mean, we're running over inches of water, in some instances just mud to get back here. And these redfish get trapped in here?
They get trapped in here, there's no place for them to go, so it's like fishing in an aquarium or something. Your own private spot.
So we're just back here in the marshes, and I tell you what, they call it the Nature's Coast for a reason. This place is gorgeous. You can see some reds just humping up here. It's crazy. We're gonna try to catch a couple.
And it'll get lower as we get another hour or two of this, and you know, then it'll really get them grouped up and everything. But
You just got to picture, there's just little ponds all back here that get trapped with this water. These redfish have no place to go, and you can just sit here and just wear them out in a hole.
Fishing in a pothole. Fishing in an aquarium.
I like it. There's one. Got one.
Awesome.
Grab one. How cool is that, man? Redfish right there. Eat that savage shrimp. Just bouncing it across the bottom. Look at that. That clean water. It's almost cheating, I tell you, everybody. I'm okay with cheating.
That's what it's all about.
Look at that little guy. We're seeing them moving around. I thought they were all mullet. I threw right in front of it, but nope, it's a little
Yeah,
red.
now there's some of those bigger wakes are definitely some nice redfish in here.
And I tell you, this is my first redfish out of an airboat. This is my second trip on an airboat, my first fish out of one. What a cool way to get back here and do this. Just something totally different, totally unique. Makes me want to go home and buy one of these things.
Real-Time Florida Sportsman is brought to you by Ray Marine. Don't just go fishing, go hunting underwater.
As a fisherman, it's almost your dream to drain a body of water and see what the bottom holds. And really, that's what happens on these airboat rides. You get to go back, you get to see every contour of the bottom, every turn of a creek, every rock pile that there is. This is a unique opportunity to really witness these back bays and really see the structure that these fish are holding on.
Got him. There he is.
Oh, there's a good one there. There's a good one.
Guy's got one.
Finally.
Oh, nice fish. Wow, I just got bit and then Kai got one. It's so neat. We just go from hole to hole back here, pothole to pothole. You just kind of anchor up, make a couple casts. These fish have no place to go on these negative tides. They're in essence trapped back here. Only way to get back here is with these airboats. When you find these holes, it is a lot of fun. This is a good red right there, Kai.
Yeah. And you can see out there the rocks. So
Yeah,
you
he
can't get
he
out.
can't get out. He's trapped.
That's the gate. That's the prison wall.
Oh, doubled up.
Double.
Oh, cool. Look at this. Oh, yours is really nice, Kai. Kai's throwing live shrimp on a jig head. I was just throwing the savage gear. Look at these fish. Look at that one. That's a good,
That's what we're talking about.
that's a quality fish.
Who said you can't catch fish in shallow water?
A cold day, sitting here in November on a negative tide, almost a full moon. Tides are really low. Look at that.
That's what it's all about right there, folks.
That's so much fun. So much fun. Oh, this fish is you almost feel like you're cheating, but they got no place to go. They're stuck there. And amazingly, they're gonna eat. You get the bait out there, you drag it across the bottom, and at one point, every cast, I was catching a fish.
These things are starting to stack up. Every hole we go to, we're catching 4 or 5 out of every hole.
Shooting fish in a bucket,
Yep.
literally.
Yep.
Nice red.
Yep, nice little redfish. Another keeper, just at the bottom of the slot, probably 19, 20 inches.
How fun is this?
Yeah, man, this is awesome. And honestly, as it gets colder, a lot more fish will start coming into these creeks.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
normally
we're just
there'd
at
be
the very beginning of this, aren't we, Kai?
just one right after another. Yep. Just right at the beginning.
I think I need to get a Triton airboat. Have him make one for me.
That's awesome. Let this girl go and throw back in there and catch another one.
But just look around us. There's no way out unless you have an airboat. You'd be walking out of here, wouldn't you, Kai?
Yep.
It's a long walk, but
Yeah.
there's just, everything's locked in here. Once these little pools dry out, the tide is still falling. It looks as low as it is right now. It still has another hour of falling on these negative tides.
There we go. Ooh, nice one.
God, he was close to the boat.
Right far out there. That's a good fish right
Yeah.
there.
Yes.
He's pulling the boat around.
Yeah,
I'll put
thank
y'all
you.
back in good range. Nice sheephead.
Big old sheepy.
I had a feeling the way he was pulling.
Boy, I guess. You want
How
the
we
net?
did in Yankeetown, right, Kai?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a nice
Yes.
fish.
That old jailbird there.
Yep.
It's a good one there for a creek.
Yeah.
That's a real good fish.
God, that thing is.
A chunk for being in a creek.
That looks like one I catch out there grouper fishing.
To take a moment and just to look around and see the landscape and the contour of the bottom and the oyster beds, it's so vast. There's so much of this to go out and explore. And I tell you, having that airboat and having that ability to get back there, you could get lost for days out there and have a great time just discovering new water. I can't thank Bill enough, Kai, his lovely wife Nancy. I mean, this whole town has pretty much taken us in, treated us like friends, treated us like family, and shown us the best of the nature's coast. Oh, nice. Right in the
Oh, I
trolling
just
motor.
got hammered. Doggone, man. It would have been nice to have a double right there.
Yeah, how rookie is this move? That caught me a
motor
motor
guide.
guide. Once again, you know, these motor guides are known to eat. I know they eat yozuris, but now I know they eat shrimp. As good as it gets right there. I mean, how much a pound are stone crabs? Is one in there? Oh my God. Just come out here with a golf club. I don't know why they make a big deal about it. Just stick your good club in a hole and pull it out.